Oh my god, hey. I am going to be reviewing all 8 of the new shows from MTFest UK, which is a festival of new musical theatre writing curated by Paul Taylor Mills in conjunction with the Other Palace Theatre. Show number 1 was AA, Alcoholics Anonymous.
MTFest UK, AA the musical.
This show is written by John Dempsey and Richard Thomas, who is the Olivier Award-winning composer behind Anna Nicole the Opera and Jerry Springer the Opera. So I've seen Jerry Springer the Opera and I love it, and so I was really excited going into this one for the same kind of wit and ridiculous, bonkers, brilliant music writing. I thought the concept is really good, really marketable. It's this setting that instantly everyone gets. You've seen some kind of a comedic internet skit, SNL, whatever, parodying this sort of focus group Alcoholics Anonymous meeting type scenario. You can tell there's a lot of places they can get jokes from. I think it's a really good idea for a musical, if a bit bonkers. But then, you know, Jerry Springer the musical, Anna Nicole the musical, like, crazy ideas, crazy things work. A lot of the music and a lot of the musical gags are similar to the writing in Jerry Springer the Opera. A lot of sort of choral, operatic, like, fuck you, that sort of stuff. Lesbian, and like, this is shit. It's got what seems to be an ensemble cast of all of these personalities that you're encountering in this scenario. This makes for a lot of really well-developed, really well-written characters. Instantly, in only a small 45-minute version of the show, you're getting to know these personalities and you can already tell there are these strong characters that are really making a very big impression. It's set on Christmas and in the 7 days between Christmas and New Year's Eve, the hardest time to stay sober. The cast were all brilliant and put the material across really well. Declan Bennett was a particular standout for me, although I didn't love his song as much. I thought his character was really good, but his song was a little bit one note. It was just sort of one of these listing things, songs talking about all of the drugs that he's done. There was a great line rhyming wham bam thank you ma'am with diazepam. Genius. Scott Garnham was also really strong and had a fantastic song about how he'd cut out drugs and alcohol and had replaced it all with coffee, and so he has this sort of, the closest thing I could describe it to is the male version of Not Getting Married Today from Company, although that's now sung by men, where it's this 100 words a second just rattling through I'm really high on coffee, caffeinated madness song, and it's fantastic and it's hilarious and it's quite short but just works perfectly, and it would be this amazing moment in the show. They were great. She was great. He was great. He was great. She was great. Everybody was great. In terms of the structure of the show, it sort of does what you expect when you think, I'm going to write a musical set inside an AA meeting. You think, I'm going to introduce all these characters, I'm going to tell you all their backstories. So it is pretty much just people taking turns, standing up, singing about their lives, as seen through the guise of a new person who is joining the meeting that night. Jenny O'Leary played that character and was fantastic. It started to get a little bit samey. I don't know what the structure of the overall show would be lengthened into a 2-act piece. At the beginning, it was really exciting because we were seeing their interactions with each other and their sort of, you got their inner dialogue alongside with that they would sing then to the audience, where they're like hugging each other and then they turn and then sing what they're actually thinking about people. I think a more interesting route for the show might be to explore more of their relationships with each other and sort of the tension that goes along with trying to maintain their sobriety, and these people who don't necessarily have anything in common or any shared interests, because you have these clashing personalities. We could already see that. I think it would be interesting to explore more of that dynamic. We saw a lot from the first act of the show, and then a little preview of a ballad that Emma Lindars' character sings later in the show about her relationship with her abusive boyfriend, that was really powerful and sort of brought an unexpected level of humanity to the show, given the sort of level of satire that it had been going along with, and it was nice to see that as well. The greatest thing Richard Thomas has ever produced, in my eyes, is I Just Want to Dance, which is this ballad in Jerry Springer the Opera sung by a pole dancer with this unexpected level of heart and emotion in it, and it's just, and the contradiction between the setting and what she's talking about and the way that she's singing it is just hysterical and somehow beautifully tragic. And I was sort of waiting for that moment in this show, and I think that's what this ballad was becoming, but it didn't quite get there. A couple of the laughs were a little bit cheap, but hey, it's Alcoholics Anonymous the musical. I don't know what you expect. I think the casting of the show was really great. You could immediately see this was a diverse group of people, a completely varied cast of characters. I think that's something to carry forwards with this production, and I would love to see it in a full version. I think this would do really well somewhere like the Edinburgh Fringe, and I'd be really excited to see it have a future life. Thank you for watching my video reviewing this MTFest show. If you would like to see more videos of me reviewing shows, doing backstage vlogs and singing things, then subscribe to my channel. The link is down there somewhere.